You might have seen my first impressions of this because I made sure that I got it up before I was trying it again. I actually filmed the first impressions video of Glow by Jennifer Lopez, or JLo. I filmed that very many months ago when I got Burberry Body, so I don't know, it was maybe like spring or autumn when I originally got this. And I'd been waiting until I had, you know, a bit of quiet time, or I had a morning, or, you know, when I didn't have to go to work and I could try it out. So my week started in a brave way on Saturday morning trying out Glow. So I woke up before my husband and I was like, that's fine, let's just try this bad boy out, this bad girl out. Okay, this time I'm going to remember to actually take it out of the box. So this is JLo Glow. Yep, okay. So as I said, I think I might have amused people a little bit with my review of this, possibly angered some people, because I know a lot of people love this. I'm just going to smell. Yeah. So I'm not going to keep this, but it's not because I think it's a horrible perfume. I just, in the same way with quite a lot of JLo perfumes, I just find the florals a little bit too sharp white floral for me personally. But before I give you my kind of updated feel about this, I'll give you the notes. So the top notes are neroli, orange blossom and grapefruit. The middle notes are jasmine, rose and tuberose. The base notes are musk, sandalwood, orris fruit, vanilla and amber. So this time round, I kind of knew I was going to have this weird smell at first. At first, actually, on second thoughts, full hairspray. I can see what people mean when they say it smells like hairspray. When I first spray it, it smells like hairspray. On my skin, and specifically, I think my skin, the musk just smells very animalic. It does smell a bit dirty, a bit funky. But that went away and then it dried down into this kind of soapy smell, this soapy white floral smell. But what I thought about this time, I went and had a look at the other reviews of this, because I was thinking it is soapy, but it's also a bit body lotiony to me. And it clicked when I read someone else saying that they thought it smelled like Nivea cream. So I have the actual Nivea cream perfume. And that one is powdery and floral, and it does smell exactly like Nivea cream. I think JLo Glow smells like Nivea Soft. So if you know the two kind of classic Niveas you get in a pot, you've got the really thick kind of almost solid kind of slightly oily Nivea creme. Cream, spelt creme, in the blue pot. And then in the white pot, you get Nivea Soft, which that's the one my sister used to use. So I always had Nivea Cream. She always had Nivea Soft. And Nivea Soft is the one that's a much thinner and more watery. It's far less like a kind of balmy situation and much more like an actual just regular body lotion. And that's the one that sinks into your skin really easily. Now that, I never really liked the smell of that, but I think that's exactly what Glow smells like when it dries down. So I can entirely understand why so many people like this perfume, but I never particularly liked the smell of Nivea White. Nivea White. I always call them Nivea White and Nivea Blue, but Nivea Soft. It's just not quite my thing. I'm not too keen on the way the flowers kind of develop, the florals in that. They're not as sweet as in Nivea Cream, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I mean, that was, it was certainly an interesting thing to discover. And I can absolutely understand why so many people like this perfume, because I think if you like that kind of body lotiony, soapy smell that's quite white floral, this is a lovely perfume. I do still think it's a lovely perfume. I'd love this on other people. But I just found on myself that it was just, my skin, obviously, like, I get the hairspray at first and then I get the kind of funky musk. It was less gravy like this time. I think maybe I just needed to give this a lot of sprays. I'd sprayed it a few times before I sprayed it on my skin, but I think maybe I needed to clear out the the tube. So it was less like gravy this time, but it was definitely still quite a funky musk on me. And then my skin just doesn't really like this kind of white floral smell. It gets too screechy on me. So yeah, I just like a sweeter soapy scent. But I think this is really pretty, so I will pass that on to someone, because I think it's a very pretty, clean perfume once it dries down. But I reckon you need at least 15 minutes to let that one settle. Okay. So I'd started off with that one in the morning before my shower. Actually really quite hard to get off. I reckon that'll last you all day easily. And then I went for this. Now, I am not even going to try to pronounce the name of this in Polish. This is a Brocard perfume, one of their Sense of Nature perfumes. I'm pretty sure this one is actually called, like the translation is Winter Apple. So I think of it as Winter Apple. This is one of the ones that I got from the lady on eBay who calls her channel, she's called Perfume Days, spelt with a Z. She sold me this partial bottle because she knew I was after it. And it's apple and toffee. So it's literally a toffee apple. It's so yummy. It's light. It's exactly my kind of perfume in that it's kind of... It's got a sharpness and a fruitiness, but it's got a really lovely creamy sweetness. And it's light, so it's not as cloying as it would be if it was like a really strong perfume. So, I mean, this one is a little bit like my Jope Eve perfume, except that it's actually easier to wear because it doesn't smell like a candle. So I'm thinking... I get the same sort of vibe from this, even though this is toffee and that one's vanilla, and I think I like this one better. So I think I'll probably declutter my Jope one, even though it does remind me of a candle I had years ago. I think I'm probably, that's fine. This is close enough to that kind of scent profile. So this has, it doesn't give you top, middle and base. So it's just got toffee, green apple, vanilla, lemon, cinnamon, musk, carnation and rose. So you get a lot of that green apple, but it's sweetened up by the toffee and the vanilla. You get that sharpness from the lemon, and you definitely get a bit of the cinnamon. So when you first spray this, it absolutely smells like a toffee apple, but made with a sharp green apple. And I love it. And then when it dries down, when the carnation and rose come out, I like it less, and that's when I think it is at its most sickly, because there's something that I'm not keen about, and I find this with a lot of perfumes actually, when it's sort of really gourmand and it actually smells like food, but then you suddenly get flowers. I don't really like that, but it's worth making my way through that, because the very deep dry down is absolutely toffee. Not caramel, not kind of horribly salty, not burnt, not like, all of the caramels that I often don't like. I was actually talking to Claire Smith in one of my comments, or one of her comments, I can't remember which one it was, about like being fussy about caramel, because there's so many caramels that I don't like. If it smells at all burnt, if it smells like pink sugar in any way, like that kind of burnt caramel, burnt sugar smell, I really don't like it. And if it's too salty, I don't like it either. But if it smells like a creamy toffee or like a fudge, if it's got that kind of smell, I love it. So this one has that proper toffee smell. Really pretty, discontinued, almost impossible to get, but if you ever see it come up on eBay, I really like that one. I forgot, I normally put them all here, and I was taking it off because I just made a video that you'll see in a couple of weeks, and I had to take them off. I didn't keep them all on it. So we're still on Saturday, and then this one is a Brocard Sense of Nature. It doesn't last too long. I could still smell that toffee on my skin when I was doing last week's, what I wore last week, if you see what I mean. But while I was doing that, I talked about wearing this, and then I said I think I'm gonna have to wear it again, and then I did. Like in the evening before I started snuggling down, I put this on because it was really cold again, and it just is so good in cold weather. It's so sweet. I wore both of my sweetest perfumes, I think, this week. One of them is sweet like this one, and it's creamy sweet. sugar and cream, and one is sugar and fruit. So this is Vera, Wang, Embrace, Periwinkle and Iris. I think this has quite a lot of violet that comes through for me, particularly in cold weather. I get a little bit more of the iris when it's hot, but I can't wear it when it's hot because it's so sweet. So top notes, bergamot, mandarin orange. Middle notes, iris, violet, periwinkle, jasmine. Base notes, whipped cream, sugar, vanilla and benzoin. Absolutely delicious. Love it. Yeah, I talked about that last week, so I won't go on about it, but it's super creamy, super sugary, just very, very nice. I'm also remembering that I hope I haven't filled up my iPad because I made a massive video and I forgot to delete it. So that was Saturday. It's just 3 perfumes on one day. So on Sunday, this you'll see in a haul. I've got the haul. I'm doing it in the wrong order, but I did record a haul, and this is going to be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. This is Pascal Morabito. This is Pure Perle. I don't know if you're just supposed to pronounce that Pearl or Perle. Or Perle or something, I don't know. Eau de Parfum. This was a bargain. I did a little bargain haul. This is the bottle. This is a weird perfume. I'm just going to say it's weird. I like it, but it's weird. It's super weird. I compared it. I mean, I talked about it a lot in that video, so I'm not going to go on too much because you can watch it on Wednesday. But really strange because it partially smells like incredibly sweet dry down with kind of bergamoty lemon, really sugary. People have said it smells like lemon meringue pie, but I don't really agree, partly because it doesn't have that pastry smell, but the lemon meringue bit, I kind of agree with that. Incredibly sugary, fluffy, slightly kind of powdery, granulated, if you see what I mean, and that bergamot, which kind of translates as lemon. But it also smells like laundry powder, like especially when you first spray it. It smells like laundry powder stroke carpet powder. So it smells like clean laundry, but it dries down to smell quite gourmand. It's very strange, quite flowery at first. So the notes here are pear blossom, and I think again that translates as pear. I think it really does smell a bit like pear. Bergamot, which comes across, I know I can recognise it's bergamot, but obviously bergamot has a slightly lemony vibe. Middle notes, heliotrope and gardenia. Base notes, tonka bean, sandalwood, musk and cedar. And it just again, like that tonka bean is so strong in the base, it's almost as if there is like, it's translating again as like a kind of toffee-ish smell, like a kind of caramelly toffee smell when it dries down, even though there's no vanilla to kind of add anything else sweet there. Very strong tonka bean. But yeah, it's definitely got this kind of effervescent, fizzy, kind of laundry powder, detergent-y smell when you first spray this. So it does smell very clean. But I think that when you first spray it, it's quite different to when it dries down. And you might like one and not the other, but I kind of like both of them, but I'm glad that it dries down the way it does, because the dry down is the bit that I like best. But again, like if you're a bit more interested in that, I talk about it way more in the haul video that will be out on Wednesday. And actually, same with this one. So I literally sprayed myself with this, because I did this video on Saturday as well. I sprayed myself with 007 for women. Oh no, I think I've got the wrong one. Oh, I've picked up the wrong one. God damn it. I didn't wear this. I'm going to have to put this in here to represent it. I'm sorry about this. I actually wore the 007 Femme. It's confusing because it's a similar colour to this. This is this one is in the haul as well, but I'm not going to describe this. I'm sorry about this. I'm going to keep it in the box. I'm annoyed. And it's nowhere near. I'm going to have to, it's packed away to get rid of. So anyway, so sorry to confuse you. I'm actually talking about James Bond 007 Pour Femme. And that, again, if you want to see more about it, the haul is out on Wednesday. But so the notes in that one, I can't believe I got it wrong. How annoying. Our top notes of pear, mandarin orange and freesia. Middle notes, night blooming, jasmine, cedar. Base notes, vanilla, tonka bean, cinnamon and cashmere wood. And I sprayed it on me when I was doing the actual review. And I was like, oh, I might like it, I might want to keep it. But after about half an hour of having it on, I found it really uncomfortable. The jasmine comes out too much on me, and I just wanted to get it off me. But I think if you don't have a problem with jasmine, I think it's a really pretty perfume. But anyway, I won't leave that up because I've totally got the wrong box. How annoying. Because I don't know how to edit 2 videos together, so I just have to carry on here and hope for the best. So that was the weekend. On Monday to work. So pretty. Prerogative Ego by Britney Spears. Really like this perfume. I think it's absolutely lovely. It has vibes of the original Ego, but then it's more fruity, and it's actually quite a bit stronger, is what I will say. Because if you saw my little tiny short video where I was looking at my perfumes that have like a similar profile, I did pull this one out when I was comparing the original Prerogative to my Scentology perfume, and this one, when I smelt it next to those, I was like, oh no, this is actually quite different. There's quite a lot of apricot and goji berry in this one, and it therefore has more of a fruity vibe, but it's also noticeably stronger, and it lasts for much longer than the original Prerogative. Really nice, really easy to wear, girly, sweet, creamy. It's another one that smells like there's caramel in it, but there isn't caramel, you know. So the notes here: apricot, sandalwood, amberwood, coffee, arum lily, saffron, pink pepper and goji berries. It doesn't have this done in base and mid and all that. But yeah, so I think, yeah, I mean, I think looking at the notes, you can't really work out what this is going to smell like. It smells, I don't want to say generic, but I definitely have other perfumes that have something that's a little bit like this, but this is like the best version of it. So it definitely doesn't smell as weird as those notes might suggest it would. And thankfully I don't get lots of pink pepper because I don't like pink pepper. Just a bit. Really, really pretty, really nice and easy to wear, that one. Okay, this is a beast. We had a very, very cold day, so I took my opportunity to wear Cabotine de Gres, which is an absolute beast. You only need to spray it on once. It lasts all day. You don't need to top it up. It's a beast. This is the EDP version. The EDT is even stronger, lasts even longer, but I think the dry down of them is quite similar. Now, I think this smells like a spring day. I think it smells happy, sunshiny, glorious, but I could never wear this in warm weather because it is so strong. It's incredibly aldehydic, so I think for me this is like a pick me up in cold weather, and when I discovered that, it's just a joy now. Like, I really enjoyed wearing this again. This is the second time I've had this kind of in a work environment, but I mean, I don't share an office space with anyone else. I have my own space, so it's not a problem. But I don't think, you know, I don't think I put enough on for this to be a problem. I did spray it on my neck this time, and I sprayed it on my wrists, but I didn't do loads of sprays. It lasted all day. I was aware I was wearing it all day, but it was very pretty. There's a million notes in this because it's from I think this is from the early 90s. So we've got in the top coriander, orange blossom, blackcurrant, cassia, plum, tangerine and peach. In the middle notes, tuberose, hyacinth, carnation, ginger, jasmine, ylang ylang, freesia, iris, rose, heliotrope, violet. Base notes are vetiver, civet, blackcurrant, musk, sandalwood, cedar, amber, tonka bean and vanilla. Now, I get a lot of tuberose nowadays. I get a bit of jasmine, but not a terrible amount. I get ginger lily. I definitely get a lot of the cassia and the blackcurrant, and it's sweet and it's musky and it's just a floral explosion. It's sweet, but yeah, the blackcurrant, I get it. Yeah, it definitely comes through quite a lot. The tuberose comes through quite a lot, and it's just a bouquet of loveliness. So I absolutely loved that one. That was really fun to wear. Okay. Trying to get through it in case I run out of space on my iPad. Stash, again, I wear it all the time. I love it. This is my favourite. This is probably my favourite cold weather perfume. It's definitely my favourite woody perfume. I love it. I don't really need to say much else about it. You see it all the time. I apologise to anyone who has maybe not seen my videos before, but I do talk about that perfume all the time. Notes: black pepper, sage, grapefruit. Middle notes: atlas, cedar, patchouli, and pistachio and ginger white lily. White ginger lily even. Base notes: Masoya, wood, oliban, and vetiver, and musk. I'm not going to say anything else because I love it and I talk about it all the time. So, sweet. This is my other really sweet one. So as I said, undoubtedly my sweetest perfume, because it's actually got sugar in it as a note, but it's creamy because it's got whipped cream in it as well. So it's like a chantilly cream, but it's very, 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 very sweet. This has also got a sugar note in it. It's very sweet, but it's like, because it's got that sour cherry, it's got a sherbety sweetness. It's still incredibly sweet. But so where this one is like whipped cream with icing sugar sprinkled all over it, this is basically a sugar cube with, if you can imagine, very sharp cherry juice dripped all over it. So the notes here are sour cherry and sugar in the top, the middle notes of cacao, iris and angelica, base notes musk and cashmere wood. Now the iris and angelica mixed with all those other smells is why this has a cherry lip gloss accord, and it smells to me a bit waxy, like cherry lip balm. Really like it. It's got that slight makeup-y smell, but it's mainly sugar, sour cherry, and then you definitely get the cacao. I love the chocolate note in this. It's why I bought it in the first place. Very nice. Can only wear it in cold weather. Can only wear that in cold weather. It would absolutely kill me any other time of year, but it's really fun during cold months. It's really, really nice. So let's put the two little sweet babes there. And then, okay, so then we're at, yes, I thought so. Yesterday, so Friday, I decided to retry Hot by Benetton. So let's just take, it really doesn't need two sleeves. Every time I pick it up, it starts to fall out and I'm like, Hot by United Colours of Benetton. I love this bottle. It's so kitsch. It's really fun. So I had this one a while ago, ages ago actually. And I wanted to retry it because I thought it was just too much jasmine for me. So this is the bottle. It's got this cool sprayer that, like, you twist it to spray it, twist it that way to spray it, twist it back to close the sprayer. It's really cool. They've changed this, sadly. They've changed this bottle. It's not the same anymore. But if you can still get hold of this one, which you normally can for about £5, then if you like Chanel Allure, but you don't want to buy a Chanel perfume, because Chanel perfumes are extortionate prices nowadays for their performance, unless you're getting Chanel No. 5. This is a really good alternative, because I know, like, that's why I feel like there's so many things about this perfume I recognise, because I know that I used to know people's mums who wore Allure back in the day when I was a kid. So this perfume is super pretty, but as I rediscovered, I really like smelling it, but it gives me a headache. There's something about the jasmine in it that's super screechy on me. So the notes in this are Brazilian rosewood, mandarin orange, lemon and bergamot. Middle notes of apricot, iris, water jasmine and lily of the valley. Base notes of vanilla, sandalwood, amber, musk, cedar and oak moss. It's so pretty. When you first spray it, a little bit harsh, fair enough. Dry down, it gets sweeter. You get more of that sandalwood and vanilla, and you get a lot of that Brazilian rosewood. Really nice. You retain some of, I think, the apricot really more than the orange. But that lily of the valley and the jasmine, it just is too much for me. I can't cope with it. There's just always this kind of underlying little sharp pain in my head whenever I sniff it, even though I'm like, oh, that smells amazing. I love it. I think it's beautiful. Again, would love it on anyone else, but on my skin, it just pushes those white florals right out in a really screechy way. I know from reading reviews and hearing other people talk about it, not everyone has that. I'm pretty sure I'd probably get the same thing with Allure, to be honest. Because a lot of those old perfumes do have screechy florals that I don't like. But so I had this on, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to wash this off now, because I had it's my birthday today, I forgot to say. So I'm 41 today, and yesterday I had the day off. and I was just like mulling around the house. I was just loving it. So I tried this in the morning. I wore it up until my shower, and then I just scrubbed it off, and I was like, okay, I like that vibe for today, but I can't wear this one. So I had a real think about what I have in my collection that's a little bit like this. Now I have two things that sprung to mind. One is June by Dior, because that is a rosewood perfume, rosewood, sandalwood. It's got that same kind of dry woodiness with a really lovely sweet kind of vanilla-y base, you know. But that's quite an expensive perfume. I've got like quite a vintagey, well, it's not like full vintage, but quite an old bottle. It's also quite a small bottle, so it's good to go in my bag. And I was like, if I'm just messing around the house, if I'm just chilling out, I don't really want to be using up my June for that. So I thought, there's something else that for some reason gives me a vibe of this. Yeah. And it's in an annoying bottle that I wouldn't want to try and take to work. This is Jovan Gold Musk, not to be mixed up with the original classic 70s Jovan Musk, which I also have and I do like. I particularly like the oil version. This is Gold Musk. Now, Jovan Gold Musk is like a sort of modern take on the original Musk for women. And it's so cozy and glorious and lovely. I love it. I mean, I love it. And it does have the same kind of yummy vibe that you get with the dry down of Hot, but it doesn't have the same florals. There's no jasmine, there's no lily of the valley. So the top notes here are liquor, red currant, passion fruit and pink pepper. The middle notes are star anise, vanilla orchid and red rose. The base notes are musk, sandalwood and amber. It's sweet. It's got that creamy, lovely sandalwood, dry sandalwood in the base. I definitely get musk, so you don't want to overspray this one too much. It's supposed to be quite light. It's a skin scent with a small kind of scent bubble. If you put too much on, it gets so musky, and then you're in full original Jovan Musk kind of territory. But I get that lovely kind of spice from the star anise. The pink pepper is not like annoyingly peppery. It's warm. The vanilla orchid, I think, is helping to make this vanilla-y and sweet, right? Because there's no other sweet things kind of listed in here. But I get a lot of the red currant and passion fruit, so it's got a lovely fruity top. It's very pretty. Very pretty. I really like this one. It's my favourite Jovan. Definitely my favourite Jovan. I do also that I don't have it anymore actually. It's one of the ones I decluttered because it was just slightly too sweet. But there's a Jovan, I think it's called Tropical Musk. It's either exotic or tropical musk. I do actually have a little video of it from when I first started my channel, and that is got a similar vibe to this because it almost smells like that one's got like I think it's like mango. I think that one smells like. I don't think it actually has it in there, but for some reason it smells like mango. On top of like musk and then like a vanilla ice creamy smell in the base. But this one is more me. It's really nice. This used to be really difficult to get in the UK, but you can get it in the UK now. I know Direct Cosmetics have it and it's only about £8. And this one, how much is in this? I think they're like really weird. It's very specifically 59 mls and it's an eau de parfum. It's lovely. It did last for ages. I could still smell this in the middle of the night when I got up to go to the loo. Beautiful, really cozy, really nice, absolutely perfect, cozy, kind of autumnal and wintry perfume that. But it's light, you know, it's really easy to wear. So I love that one. Not the nicest bottle, but absolutely lovely. So yeah, so that's my week. Sorry I got the 007 one wrong. That's annoying because I totally did wear that this week. But yeah, so this is my lovely bunch of yummy things. And I will be back very soon. Yeah, tune in. I've got a couple of things, a couple of big ones coming up. So I've got my I've got my little haul coming up, which is this and the James Bond and a bunch of other absolute cheapies. But I've also got one that's a subscriber asked for, and I filmed it yesterday, which is my top 20 for life. So that will be not next week, but the week after. So yeah, I hope everyone had a lovely week, and that's me done for today.